Hello and welcome to the Witch's Realm. I'm Andrea Franco, intuitive business mentor.
And I'm Amanda Root, mindset and manifestation mentor. We created this podcast as a safe space for women to connect and come out of the witch's closet and own their magic.
We discuss everything from business, pleasure, spell work, sex, wealth, and how to live a magically abundant as fuck life.
Yeah, get ready to tune in and get turned on.
Welcome back, witches. We are so excited to be here with you. You're probably going to listen to this like 2 weeks from now, and I probably shouldn't date the podcast, but today is 2/22/22, so it's a motherfucking portal, and we are here for this. So
I think we always podcast on Mondays.
I know.
And because of my President's Day weekend trip,
we had to podcast today.
We ended up podcasting today.
Which then was divine.
Yes.
Like everything lately.
Yes. And
I loved our divine timing.
Our
and
beautiful spell work.
Redirection.
Yeah.
It just feels so good.
We did an amazing spell before coming on. Mm-hmm. And we are so excited about where this journey has really led us.
Where life has led us, but definitely this journey.
Yeah.
Which leads us into the topic today, which is the law of assumption. And I think that had a huge impact on my journey, especially over the past couple of months.
So we have mentioned the law of assumption on several episodes up until this point, and we have gotten a bunch of emails, a bunch of comments, and people want to know, how do you use the law of assumption?
I think we should go to like, what is it? But I actually want to just like preface this really fast. Like, I am going to be doing a free workshop on this at some point in the next couple of weeks, because I don't feel I'm an expert at this. I'm going to talk about it, but I don't feel like I'm an expert at it. So when that comes out, I'll like throw it in the show notes. I'm doing like a free workshop on this. Anyways, so the law of assumption is different from manifestation in the fact that when you're talking about manifestation, you are saying that you are co-creating with the universe, right? Like you're calling on something else and it's a creation. When you're talking about the law of assumption, you are assuming your reality, but you are the creator and you are God essentially, which I know is like a little out there and far-fetched for some, but it really, really helped me. And there's, for me, like 3 layers of the law of assumption. So first of all, I break it up into 3 at least, but it's like you're the creator of your reality. So everything is you pushed out. So how you treat me is how I believe I should be treated, basically. You know what I mean? And like how men treat you, how money comes to you. So you must shift your view on a thing, and then everything outside of you will shift. So you're not trying to change something. This is what I hear often with the law of assumption. That's like a skewed view. Because say you're trying to, they call them SPs, which is a specific person, right? Mm-hmm. So say you're trying to, we'll just give a really easy example. Say you're trying to make your ex-boyfriend come back, right? And like they're thinking, normal human would think, well, I need to change him so he loves me better or he is loyal. That's not how the law of assumption works. It's, I believe I'm a queen. Everybody is loyal to me. So then he must shift because everything outside of you must shift. It goes pretty, like it blew my mind when I started like really diving into the law of assumption on how it works, which is like just everything is basically revolved around you and your reality.
So I understand the law of assumption a little bit differently. I feel like the law of assumption for me, it's
Neville Goddard's teaching. So it is like a hard
teaching.
It
comes down to energy. That's how I look at the law of assumption. Mm-hmm. It's the same to me as so you have the laws of physics, which are like the laws of gravity, and you have Isaac Newton and the laws of energy. Mm-hmm. And one of the laws of energy is that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed.
Yes.
Or absorbed, transmuted. It doesn't die, and it doesn't just create out of nowhere. So when I think of the law of assumption, it's more about assuming that energy already exists. Knowing that it's actually a law. It's not a physics law. It's more of a spiritual law of, okay, this, I take it of like a childlike imagination. Like, you know, when you're a kid and you're imagining something, but you actually believe it to be true. Like my son, he's 3. And I'm seeing this with him.
Yeah.
I'm the big monkey. That's his new thing. Like, he's the big monkey. He thinks he's Donkey Kong.
Oh my God, you didn't tell me about this. This is so he's a monkey or you're a monkey?
He's a monkey.
He's a monkey.
He's big monkey.
That's what
he calls walks around the house. He is big monkey. And he says, I big monkey. And he bangs his chest.
Oh my God, I love this.
So cute.
Why have I not gotten a video of this yet?
I haven't caught it on video yet.
Okay, we need to catch this on video.
So, but he believes that he's Donkey Kong running around. And so the law of assumption is like allowing yourself, like taking it from a child's perspective. To me, this is my interpretation.
No,
like,
that's fine.
No, I'm just, prefacing that.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a hard principle.
It's kind of a hard principle because I know Neville Goddard and a couple other like the people who like I guess invented the teaching. So I think that I wanted to preface it too that I'm not an expert because I know that like with certain things that people teach, it's like that's not right. Don't say it. So I'm gonna just say like this is your interpretation. This is what I know about it, and this is how I've used it. However, I am teaching a workshop with someone who actually like has been studying it for like fucking ever. So I'll work on that. But like I want to talk about it how it really how we use it, how we think of it, and then
with all spiritual practices, it's like whatever works for you.
I agree.
And it's about personal preference.
I mean, we say that about spell work and everything else we do.
It's all personal. So
I just feel like this is a little harder notch for me. So I'm like, just so you know, don't be coming at me, bro. Okay.
So
anyways, keep going.
So like, okay. It's just assuming that knowing that everything that you want to exist already exists because energy can't be created, right? So it's already here.
Stop it.
Like whatever you want is already here.
It's already energy.
It's true. So yeah, and I think people want to know like how to use it.
Oh, okay. All right. I have something to say about this.
Okay.
So here's what I fucked up. Not like I fucked up, but I guess I could say I fucked up because when I was using this, I was too focused on the outside of me and not me. Right. So it's called your self-concept. That is, so there's like SPs and then there's self-concept. And I was like trying to be like, people feel this way about me. And, I was doing a lot of like outside work. The second I fucking put that all down and only focused on me, that's when I saw the real changes. So the I am statements. I would literally get butt ass naked, go in the mirror and be like, I am a queen. I turn myself on. I am magnetic. I am wealth. I am protected. Like when I started really focusing on the way I felt and the way I viewed myself and saying like, I am a vibration of that frequency. That's when I really noticed the law work for me. Because
why does it work? It works because those thoughts, speaking those thoughts and feeling those feelings, you're going deep into your body. Like this is bigger than our brain. This is like, okay, we have different knowings, right? We have like knowledge, we have brain knowledge. We also have body knowledge. We have womb knowledge as women. We have intuition, that like deep knowing that we just know it. Our intuition tells us. And the law of assumption is like you feel that yearning deep inside for something and you almost know somewhere that it's already yours. It's just a matter of time until it becomes yours in this second,
this 3D
in this
reality.
moment.
In this 3D reality.
Yeah. And everything, and also knowing, it was so funny. Yesterday, I was in Vermont. I was in Manchester, Vermont with my husband and my kids. Am I boring you? And we were...
I got up so early lately. I like can't sleep. I'm so happy.
We were walking down the street and there was this like piece of granite right outside the bookstore, an amazing bookstore in Manchester, Vermont. And it said, nothing is written in stone. And I was like, but it was written in stone, which is like super ironic. But I think the law of assumption also speaks to that. Like if you aren't happy with the current reality, you can just change it and shift it and nothing is set in stone. Like you're never trapped. Everything is constantly shifting and changing.
Yeah. And I really, so like I was saying like I break it into 3 parts. So what I think the most important is the I ams, but then it is, so I do like I am, and then I do like my non-negotiables. So I'm like everywhere I go,
so you mean like affirmations, like I am?
Yeah, because that's about me. But then I do like what's outside of me, and I love doing those too. Because like I like to see how they play out in the real world. Like wherever I go, men roll out the red carpet for me. Every time I enter a parking lot, there's always a space. Like stupid things like that. Like I'm just like, this is my non-negotiables.
Yeah.
You know, like people love to pay me in full. Like I feel like I have a list of like 20 to 25 that I like try to say every single day. To really, and I will say this too, like what really worked with this is I don't care what anybody says about this. You may not believe it at first. You know, there were some things that I think took me a little more time than others, but like eventually when you work on something enough, it will start to go into your subconscious, whether you fucking believe it or not.
So Goddard says that there are a few things that you need in order to be successful. Did you just hear that? In order to be successful at the law of assumption. So one of them is
I just got all his books. I need to read them.
Clear space. Clear mental state, not just space physically, but also mentally. So like, you know, saging yourself, cleansing your energy, grounding, getting in touch with your whole self, and then positive energy. What?
Just we're having a tropical fucking storm outside. I wonder if my pillows flew away again.
Probably. We can chase them down after we're done.
No, I'm so over this.
I know. We're moving soon. So positive energy too. So like if you have anything negative in your mind, in your space, any people, like it's setting up your space is so important, you know, and then also belief. So even though you might have some doubts, right?
Well,
and you're
going
to release them. Somewhere deep inside, you do believe it.
Yep.
And the more and more you say it, you're unlocking that part of your brain
that
and those
believes
pathways.
It. That's the thing is I think that some of them that I started with, it was like those human doubts were still there. And then as I kept doing it, it was like the belief got bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. And then it became the reality shift.
And that's exactly.
And my dreams and goals would get bigger and bigger and bigger. And we always go back to this. I have to read it, you know, like the 100K, you know, and then 100K month became reality. And now that is what I'm normaling at. And now I'm like, okay, what 2 and 3?
And that person.
And then that'll become normal. You know what I mean?
That person who had those dreams and
I
saw
don't even
that
know her.
She doesn't exist anymore.
No.
But what's interesting is that when she did exist, this person also existed. So like people talk about like quantum leaping and jumping timelines. This is where the law of assumption, if you want something to be true, just assume that it's true.
Yeah, that was the other thing too that I do think is really important is that like you have to ignore the 3D reality. So especially like, I'll just give an example. Like say you're trying to call back a guy, right? And the guy goes Facebook official with someone else. Like this is a far-fetched example, but like that doesn't matter.
You're Facebook official. Okay.
Excuse me. It doesn't matter because if you're manifesting him, that's irrelevant, right? Like I know that was like a big one. Like same thing. All right, let's go money. This is better, maybe for money. You know, you're manifesting 10K, but there's $300 in your account. Like oh fucking well, it doesn't matter. Like you have to ignore what you're seeing in front of you because you know what you want and what you're fucking creating is yours already, and you're calling it in. So if you focus on the fucking 300 in your bank, then you're lacking the fucking 9,700 you're trying to call in. And I think that's where people really get tripped up with this law. They're like, but I don't see it. You don't need to because you're creating the energy and you're believing it and it is coming. You know, people get really impatient.
Yeah.
Even with spell work. But like, I just feel like that's a thing that you like have to have that like trust. Like this is fucking mine. No matter what you see.
Yeah.
Like a donkey could come by. Like
the human experience, like we have to, you know, go through our journey is not one of instant gratification.
I know.
And we all want that. And the human experience is, you know, is a wide range of emotions and experiences and feelings and everything else. And I don't know. I feel like when you talk about money, okay, usually
money.
When you're working on something like this and you're trying to shift something, there's some sort of blockage or wound or limiting belief. And that's the other thing that Goddard says. It's like you have to release
Limiting
any
beliefs.
limiting beliefs around that subject. And I know we talked about that on one of our previous episodes.
I do think that's important. But, you know, what we say too is like, it's not the fact that you're not going to have human thoughts or fears, but we just can't make them dominant.
Yep.
Right? As long as they're not
Acknowledge
dominant.
them.
Yeah, acknowledge,
allow
release,
them to pass.
and then call back what you do want over and over and over.
You know what?
And I believe in like scripting. That's one of the things that I
was
really
just gonna say that.
Well, duh, I'm psychic.
I was just gonna say that.
I felt like I saw that in your head. That really changed. Really funny enough. So I have why I wouldn't let my new man come in my room is because I have all of my shit on the walls. And so like I wake up and I see them, and then I have a notebook to the side of me. So like what I've been doing before I even like get out of my bed is like scripting my reality. Like I wake up and intentionally script it. Like I am magnetic. I am a money magnet. I am abundant, magnetic, protected, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's really been helpful. And like Kim had said this, one of the women I learned from, you know, like if in the day, like something isn't going your way, like say that someone says something to you and you're like, I don't like this situation. Instead of reacting to the situation, you're going to be like, no, this situation isn't even happening. Let me shift it.
Yeah.
Shift it. Like get a notebook out. Like this is it. And so like you can immediately change that energy.
And that's the whole thing about the energy.
And that's emotional intelligence, which I think we should do an episode on. Because that changed the game.
And that's what I was saying. Like we have all types of wisdom. We have emotional wisdom. We have physical wisdom. We have spiritual wisdom. Like we have womb wisdom. We have gut wisdom. Like we have third eye wisdom. Our body knows. Our mind knows. And with the law of assumption, I think that with relationships.
That's like what a lot of people really use it for, because it's like the law of assumption and like SP, 3P. There's all kinds of terminology for that. I'm in some Facebook groups around that. Yeah. And people really use it to like manifest their SP or SP
I just
back.
love how much manifestation is like being talked about right now. And it's funny because like certain people are like hating on that.
Well, law of assumption. But yeah, no, I know.
Yes. Different. But the idea of being in charge of creating your own reality.
Yeah, I think it's becoming a lot more mainstream.
So for me, like I like to really get really whole with myself and journal and script out everything I'm feeling, the good, the bad, the ugly, get it all on paper. Like write it out, and then what am I doing with it?
Have you used the law of assumption much?
Yeah. I feel like I've been using it before I even knew what it was, and then when I discovered it, I was like, okay, this actually makes sense. And
same, I feel. I really don't think, like, my client Kim was the one who introduced me to it, and it was so funny because I was like releasing so much shit on the retreat that I went on in Tulum, and then something told me to sign up for her workshop, and I was like, cool. And it was all about self-concept, and that really shifted the game for me. Well, that's where
you're right. It's all about the self, and in the whole self. For me, it's about being whole. Like I feel like I have been throughout my life pieces, like fragmented pieces of. Well, okay, so we were talking earlier about like being, you know, all of the faces of like being a woman. And, you know, being a mother, a wife, a friend, like all these different roles that we play. I think that the law of attraction first was something that I learned about. It was like, okay, The Secret, you know.
Oh, yeah. But binge the shit out of that.
And then
I feel like we can kind of use all of these things at once. That's the truth. Is like some people are like guru with one, and it's like Bible. For me, I do kind of use a little bit of all of them. It's like I can't say I don't use manifestation, only use the law of assumption. But I think knowing the power of the law of assumption really shifted everything for me. Like I am just the magician. I am the creator of my reality.
Yeah, I think understanding the energy piece of it, and like it's a little bit more scientific. I feel like it's very substantial. There's a lot of evidence supporting it.
Oh my God. Seeing some of the girls share their testimonials in the group of like being like hopeless over getting like this guy back, right? And then being like, he is mine, he feels this way about me, blah, blah, blah. And then him like coming back, I'm like, wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
And so like when you're using the law of assumption, where I was talking about the child, like it's when you're a kid, no one has given you any of those limiting beliefs yet, so they don't exist. No one has told Connor that he is not a monkey.
Yeah.
So something inside of him is a monkey right now. And there's something really beautiful. And
are you going to tell him or no?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. I love it. You know, I think if you can keep your imagination alive as long as possible, it's like one of my main goals in life is just to like focus on getting back, going in reverse.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I was in such a rush to grow up and now I want to like grow down.
Yeah. I feel the
same.
same. I feel like I'm becoming more childlike.
When I play with my kids, this weekend, like I had a lot of nice family time and like playing with them and like being in their presence when they're imagining things. Like I just want to feed that in them. And I'm like, yes, like dream big, you know, it's awesome.
I know. I feel like when we stop dreaming big, when we start to be limited by others.
Judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So judgment, I think, is society and societal pressures, judgments, outside influences, just like you were saying, like all those things.
And that's what creates the doubt that you can't have that or whatever. And I think I really tried to master, especially with like my family and where I came from. It was hard for a long time. It's like, who am I to dream this big? Who am I to want a $1 million house? Who am I to want this big, massive love? And I think that everyone around me was just kind of like okay with mediocre, you know, and mediocrity was just never something I wanted. And I'm not like shaming anybody or saying that what they want isn't good. Like if you're happy with a 9-to-5, then I'm happy for you. If you're happy with making $2,000, $3,000 a month, then I'm happy for you. Everyone has different desires, but I was always felt that I was shamed in my big, big, big desires. Like I want a man who has it all. I want you know, like stupid fuck tons amounts of money. I want.
Is that the law of assumption right there?
What
you just said about has it all?
Yeah, I want it all.
Yeah.
And I think that
knowing that it exists.
Yeah, it
and
all
that's
exists.
The other thing that I always say to people.
That's the thing I think the doubting is. I think people say that like that man doesn't exist or you can't. Like
that's why you need to prove your brain wrong. Yeah. So you have to find examples of people and things, and you have to say, okay, that type of love is real.
There.
And if it's real really for someone else, then it's real for me.
Drogo broke up with, you know
the Dragon Queen.
No, the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. The mother of dragons.
No, her boyfriend Drogo. What the guy? We were talking about this.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah. Lisa Bonet.
Yeah, I love that couple.
She's a free spirit. You can't hold her down.
To fly?
Can't hold her down.
Okay. Anyways, that was like one of my favorite couples to look up to. But
just wait till she gets her next. I mean, she's on a roll.
You think she's gonna?
She's hot shit.
Find another man?
She knows how to pick them.
Okay. She knows how to pick them, I guess. Anyways, yeah. I do feel like we need to have examples. Like, and feel it and see it and know it's truly possible. And I think that the surroundings that I had for a long time, I didn't feel that way. And that's when I started doing like really... Remember when I was like, all right, I'm going to go to this event. And then I saw all these people making all this money and doing this crazy shit. And I was like, I need to be surrounded by more of this. And that's why people in this industry do group programs and, you know, like invest in this big, wacky, crazy shit and their family thinks they're nuts. It's because like we want to be in more of that energy because we want to do things that no one else thinks is possible. Yeah. And we need to be around the limitless possibility.
Well, when you understand energy again and how energy works, when you are in the energetic field of another person, we all have energy within our bodies. And so when you're with someone who is at a higher level than your energy will actually calibrate to theirs. And so, of course, you want to surround yourself with people who are going to calibrate your energy higher. You know, I always talk to you going back, way back, like this was one of my big things was like sinks. Picturing yourself as a sink and is the person a faucet or a drain?
Oh, I know. I remember I was saying that.
It's like one of my first principles.
I say that to everyone now. Like when a girl is telling me about a shitty man, or like a friend is telling me about this girl that clearly is not in their corner, I'm like, that's a drain. You need to drain them.
Mm-hmm. It's true. You know, there are people that it's people that do too much of one and not the other. Everything needs to be a balance.
Yeah. Yeah. A little faucet, a little draining.
I mean, ebb and flow.
Yeah, but there's some people that like are walking fucking drains.
100%.
And I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So you have
Nobody
to determine
asked for your drainage shit.
You know, calibrating to the right people.
Yeah. We need to faucet on that. All right. Is there anything else you want to say about the law of assumption?
I mean,
self-concept, dream big. I write down my goals, how everyone else is supposed to feel about me.
I think writing it down is really big, and saying it out loud. Like some people are asking in our emails and in our questions, specifically, how do you use these laws? And how you use them is to really get clear. So if that means like journaling it out and writing down like what you're trying to create, what your reality is, how you see yourself.
I also think it's important to, if there is a fear or limiting a belief, to getting to the bottom of why.
Exploring it.
And going deeper into that like wound or fear or shadow, so you can break it, so you can call in that thing. And I've had to do that a couple of times, like you know, a mother wound or a father wound, or a belief around money or love, where I'm like, ooh, I can feel this here and it's contracting, and this came from this experience or this person. Let me like go deeper there on like why I feel this is still actually very prevalent in my energy, and release it or rewrite it, or both together. Sometimes it's like a release and rewrite and a recode in our frequency, so now we can calibrate higher to call in that next level thing. And that's why I feel like there is such a, especially in our lives, where we go through so many towers, and we've discussed the tower, in ego deaths, because it's like this cycle of like blowing shit up, rebuilding, blowing shit up, rebuilding, blowing shit up, rebuilding. And that's the constant for me of like, you know, diving into my shadow and like limiting beliefs and fears, because I'm constantly up leveling and constantly wanting more and bigger and improving. I even did a post on this. Like, I'm always fucking improving. I'm always fucking going to the depths of my soul to figure out this thing that was limiting this next thing I want.
That's the whole point of life.
And then we like, I know, but we just do it at a extremely fast level. Yeah. Like there's some people who will wait till like 80 years old and won't calibrate to the frequency in which we've gotten to at such a quantum leaped level, because we're ready to go there. Yeah. And we believe we can. Yeah. And that's what I want listeners to know, is like, you can have whatever the fuck you want. Time is not fucking real.
No. And you can find other people who are just like you.
I know. And it's everywhere.
Find this energy.
Yeah. I think that's really important.
And this is one of the places you can find it.
Yeah. Here on The Witch's Realm. We love you.
All right.
Email us.
thewitchesrealmpodcast@gmail.com.
Join Intuitive
Tell us
Boss
what you want to hear.
Talk to us. Love us.
Follow us on Instagram.
I love when you share things in the group about our podcast, because we like love you. Follow us. Do the things. We're going to be announcing our retreat in about a month. Soon. In about a month-ish.
Yeah. By the time this airs, it'll be about a month.
Yeah. Soon. So stay tuned for that.
So excited.
It'll be in June. We just picked the weekend, but we're not going to tell you yet.
Nope.
Because we're going to tease you. Drip, drip. Love y'all.
Bye.